5 kids will experience parental alienation when their parents go through separation. In high conflict cases, it's closer to 1 in 2. Parental alienating behaviours harm thousands of families in South Australia. These behaviours are a form of family violence where an alienating parent and their allies use manipulative tactics to turn children against the other parent. Parental alienating behaviours can lead to significant issues in mental illness and even suicide. Estimates indicate that 1 million Australian children are being alienated by a parent. This issue continues to be ignored, and parents and family members feel desperate and without assistance. I met with the Attorney-General in September 2022 for the purposes of asking the Attorney to discuss the issue of parental alienating behaviours with his colleagues and to consider referring the issue to the South Australian Law Reform Institute. My questions for the Attorney-General are: does the Attorney acknowledge that parental alienating behaviours negatively affect thousands of South Australian families? Has the Attorney-General discussed parental alienating behaviours with his colleagues, and if so, who? And will the Attorney-General commit or consider referring this issue to the South Australian Law Reform Institute?
Attorney-General.
I thank the honourable member for a question, and I acknowledge she has raised this issue with me. I have had some advice and some discussions on this issue. Before anything was done on this, it would need to be exceptionally finely balanced. I think as much as people want to see children not being used to harm other people, this seems to be quite a controversial area where many of those pushing it who have had personal instances with the family law courts and have grievances and dissatisfactions with the outcome, and I certainly wouldn't want to be a part of anything that actually reinforces trauma that people have gone through in the family law system, sir. In relation to a reference to the South Australian Law Reform Institute, having taken some advice on this and having had discussions about the ways these sorts of laws could be misused, it is not a matter that we currently intend to refer to celery.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Ms Franks.
In taking that advice, has the Attorney-General become aware of concerns that claims of parental alienation actually disguise true abuse, such as the child abuse that has been inflicted upon a child that DCP ignored the sexual abuse by a father for some years?
Attorney.
I thank the honourable member for a question. I'm not aware of the specific circumstances the honourable member is talking about, but as I've said, in this area it has become apparent that many of those who advocate for this have had personal issues and dissatisfaction with the family law system, and I would certainly, and I think many would want to be very, very certain that it wouldn't have outcomes that were not in the interests of children, which there are many of those who've participated in this debate fear it might.
Mr President, I personally know many extremely wonderful and good parents who are being affected by parental alienating behaviours.
It's not a supplementary.
The Honourable Game, sit down, please. You have a point of order. The Honourable Mr Sims.
It's not a supplementary. The honourable member is simply expressing a view. She's not asking a question of the minister.
Yeah, the Honourable Game, if you're going to ask a supplementary question, you just ask a question. There's no explanation.
Does the Attorney acknowledge that there are many innocent parents that are suffering the effects of parental alienating behaviours?
Attorney.
I thank the honourable member for a question. I haven't been presented with any studies that do a comprehensive review that would allow me to draw such a conclusion.
The Honourable Dennis Hood.
Thank you, Mr President. Sir, I seek leave to make a brief explanation for asking questions to the Attorney-General regarding the monitoring of bail conditions for alleged rapists and other criminals here in South Australia.
Granted. Leave is granted.
Thank you, sir. Sir, on the weekend it was reported that an 18-year-old man was